Guys, this is Ken, and let me introduce you to the Pack Rat. This is the bike I use for search and rescue, working for CERT teams, Red Cross, amateur radio relay league, and so on and so forth, as a first response vehicle to be able to get in and out of areas where normal vehicles can't get into. Now, the question we had was on the 12 volt electrical system. So let's go over some of the wiring. This right here is the new 12 volt coil. It has one power lead to it, and there's no ground to this, because when you bolt it into the motor, into the magneto section, which I've actually opened up just for this video, you can see that that actually grounds it out. Now, make sure when you get your wire out, your wire goes down and past the magneto itself, because you don't want to tear that up, get it caught up there, and possibly seize your engine up. Now, one thing I will have to mention is that the tabs where you mount the two bolts off, you just take the two bolts off the magneto for your bike, put this on and put it over. You're gonna have to bend the tabs out right here where your coil goes around, because it will hit either that or grind them off. I chose to just bend them up and away for structural integrity of the device. Now, when you get a chance, you can either drill a hole, or it's recommended that you actually take the time and you thread it through your looming and put it through with the rest of your harness. It helps keep it out of the way. Now we're going to go around the other side, and we're going to take a look at this. Okay. Now right here, the red wire, I went and I soldered in line. I put a diode in place. Okay, now you don't have to, like I said, you don't have to worry about grounding the system, because once you bolt it into the engine, that's the ground. All you have is a 12 volt lead. Now I have the split loom tubing, which has a ground for the battery, my kill switch, and the power tap going into the battery, mounted up behind my cargo rack. Okay, and this is just a Mighty Max 12 volt lead acid battery. It's a completely sealed. It's a amorphous glass mat, which if you knock it over inside, or even if it breaks or you wreck your bike, if it breaks open, it's not going to leak battery acid everywhere. Now I have the battery itself is grounded, because you need to have a ground for all the electrical systems, just like you would on a vehicle. I have everything taped up really nicely, and I put, as you can see, well, let's try to go around the side of the bike again. I built what's called a spider tap, which has multiple taps coming off the battery into 5 parallel power taps, so I can attach different devices. Now, the white box here that you can see, this right here that I'm touching, this little box that's on top of the battery, is a voltage converter. It converts 12 volts to 6 amps, or 6 volts 3 amp hours, which is, you can see when I flip the switch, it'll actually run the dedicated T6, the high efficiency T6 lighting that's up underneath the bike. And well, let's turn that on so you can see just what that does. It'll also, if you put that in line, it'll also run your tail lights, and you have 12 volt power, so you can do things like, well, since I'm on the road a lot and I do a lot of long hauls, I have dual USB and a 12 volt car port that's wired tapped directly into the battery. So if I need to charge my cell phone, or I'm using the GPS or whatever, I can tap straight into that, and I can keep my phone charged without having to change batteries out. It'll also run the 2 meter 70 centimeter radio I use for communications and whatnot. So that's just a quick video. If you have any other questions, or if you need to, I can put up a wiring diagram of how to do this, or even a step-by-step. So let me know. Until then, guys, you got 2 wheels in the motor. Make sure you got a smile on your face. Have a good one.